Welcome to Nittany Nation Now.
Hey, hi, hello. This
Hello.
is Nittany Nation Now / Nittany Nation Meow. Peter Churster, Jack Washer, what's up, dude?
What's up, man? It's week 2.
Yeah, we can tell. I'm
It's
sleepy.
exciting.
I'm sleepy.
But
we're getting it
We only
done.
got like 12 more weeks to go.
Dude, don't even. I'm looking forward to the bye week already. So we're just here gonna kind of give you a rundown of what we got coming up on Nittany Nation Game Day this Saturday, and just a little bit about this upcoming game against Buffalo. The Buffalo fighting Buffalo Wings.
Buffalo Bulls.
The Bulls. Yeah,
But yeah,
whatever.
they
Same thing.
sometimes they go by the Wings. Do it.
Ooh.
Yeah, Penn State Buffalo 7:30 p.m. should be a good one. First, the fact that they get 2 night games is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of gets them in a way ready for that Michigan game on October 19th. But the first story we want to talk about is about one of Penn State's offensive linemen. Now, Steven Gonzalez had a choice to potentially leave for the NFL last year. He chose to come back, and his backstory of how he got to Penn State is pretty cool. Take a look.
For Penn State guard Steven Gonzalez, it's a moment that does not age. Running out of the tunnel at Beaver Stadium.
It never gets old. It's always kind of that one thing that Coach Franklin always preaches to us, just kind of obviously stay focused on the game, but, enjoy those first 14, 15 seconds of, running out of the tunnel.
For Gonzalez, it's an opportunity to honor his father.
He was my rock, and, he was kind of like the person I would always go to talk to.
Jorge Gonzalez always knew his son had a knack for football.
He's like, I really think he's going to make it.
At 6'4" and more than 300 pounds in high school, Gonzalez was well on his way until one day at the beginning of his junior year of high school.
Kind of the most darkest time in my life, I felt like.
It just shattered us. Steven, we went to the hospital and we were there with him.
Jorge Gonzalez suffered 2 heart attacks and passed away.
I mean, I'm always a quiet guy, but at that point in time, I really didn't talk to anyone. I didn't speak to anyone. People kept saying they're sorry, and I'm like, yep, thank you, I appreciate it.
I told him, your life is never going to be the same.
So a week later, Steven had a choice to make: suit up or sit out.
I was scared. 16-year-old, it could go either way.
Steven suited up, and he excelled.
Steven insisted he wanted to play. And, I felt if he's like, he would want this because, this is what he liked.
He earned a scholarship to Penn State. His father's prediction came true. Then on signing day, the emotions all returned.
It was tough. I had asked my coach just to put a chair with his name on it, kind of reserved seat for him. So he was there in spirit, I felt. But it was tough, obviously, not physically there, but I knew he was there watching.
A guiding presence from above.
If I'm playing bad, I'll tell him hey, come on, help me out a little bit here. It's all been about him, and it's all, he's kind of been like the driving fuel.
In the trenches, it's an escape from the tragedy in his life.
Right up the middle and right into the end zone goes Johnny Brown.
But the memory never strays far away.
I think he just connected with that, This is what Dad would have wanted, and it's what I'm going to do.
And such a strong kid Steven is. In the span of 2 years, he lost his dad, his aunt, and one of his really good friends on the team. And what the most interesting part of this story is, and it's kind of puts a light note on the story, is his family, his dad and his grandparents defected from Cuba back in the 60s and whatnot. And his dad didn't know much about football coming over. And then he fell in love with the Minnesota Vikings. And you're a Packers fan, I'm a Bears fan,
and they play tonight.
And so that family bleeds purple and gold and whatnot. And so the Friday after, his dad passed away during a bye week for their high school season. The Friday after, Steven decided to play, and the whole family showed up in Vikings jerseys, a way to kind of honor the Jorge Gonzalez, and just such an awesome family, getting to know them and everything, and he's killing it right now.
Yeah,
and
I like that story.
Hopefully he gets to the NFL and continues to live out his dad's. His dad predicted he was going to make it.
You always have that conversation on when is it beneficial to come back to school? And most of the time, it's not beneficial, financial, career-wise, for guys to return to school But I think in his situation, if you're projected as a late round pick or something like that, and I don't think Bates got drafted, even though he's I'm not sure if he made the Bills roster. But,
I'm not sure, but
yeah.
I think one cool thing he told me was when you have a tough decision.
Doug Winston's over here, by the way.
When you have a tough decision like this, you can't regret it one way or the other.
Yeah.
And the fact is, he doesn't regret coming back to Penn State. He's loving it right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking like no class right now because he has like all his credits essentially done. I think
Yeah,
he has,
I remember him talking
he has
about
like
that.
one class. He's living the dream right
Yeah.
now. One more football season, and then a good year. I think he should get drafted next year. It might not be a first or second round pick, but if you go in the 4th, 5th round, you definitely have a chance to make a career, in the NFL.
All right, let's talk Buffalo now. It's going to be a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. As Jack said, night game. First night game of the season for Penn State. Something interesting we saw in the first game, 5 different running backs scoring a touchdown for
awesome.
Penn State. Nick Uri is now the king/mayor/governor of Penn State College.
For now.
Love it. For now. Well, I mean, it's still like...
He had his moment, and
Yeah.
it was an awesome moment. And
Yeah.
like a lot of, for a lot of people, they were out of the stadium because it was 72-7 when he scored a touchdown, and everyone's like, all right. Everyone probably left an hour and a half ago.
It was still
But
like the best run, though. I
it
thought
was
so
no.
awesome.
I mean, like honestly, the moments that are the coolest are when like feels like not that many people are around.
Yeah.
Because it just happens like that, and it was so cool, and the way that his teammates talk about him, about how hard he works,
Rudy Rudiger, man.
and how much he worked for that moment. I think who was it? I think it was Jaywan Sider, or it was one of the
Assistant coaches?
one of the assistant coaches was talking about how that's a moment that he'll remember for the rest of his life. It's Nick Uri scoring a touchdown. So cool to see him get in the end zone. But yeah,
They got to pick somebody. And okay, it's not like they have to pick somebody. Someone will separate themselves, down the line.
But I don't think you're going to have we kind of disagree with that. I don't think they're going to have a true bell cow. I don't think it's going to be like a Saquon. I don't think it's going to be like a Miles because I don't think they have someone who can take that beating for 4 quarters. Maybe I'm wrong, but the way that like Ricky Slade, Journey, Devin Ford, Noah Kane, I don't think they're built for that. And I think it's good because they're, you can interchange them and they're all fresh in the 4th quarter. I don't think they'll go 4 running backs every game.
Yeah.
But I think, you can easily spell Journey and Ricky, Journey and Noah, Ricky and Noah, and I think that will be come in very handy for Penn
Shout out
State.
to Devin Ford.
81
First
yard
time
run.
you got to see that guy. I think he's like the leading rusher for Penn State, and he did not enroll early. Showed up in the summer. First time you got to see him play. Scores an 81-yard touchdown as a true freshman. That's pretty cool.
And who's it? Justin Shorter, if you remember that incredible block.
Yeah.
Coming all the way down, and that made the run. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
goes unnoticed,
Yeah.
but
And it wasn't a clip, and it wasn't a penalty when it very easily could have been.
He literally just got in the guy's way.
Yeah.
He literally just ran in the guy's way. And
That's coaching.
That's coaching. And hustle.
Yeah. All right, defensive line. Let's talk about these guys for a second. They obviously kind of controlled things.
The Wild Dogs.
The Wild Dogs. What are the Lawn Boys are the running backs, and the Wild Dogs are the defensive line.
And we're just the dad jokes.
Yeah, we love dad jokes. So I just think this is going to be the marquee group / deepest group. Linebacker, yes, but I think the defensive line just has some dudes.
They're deep, is what they are.
Yeah.
At like every
spot.
Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting here thinking we're like Antonio Shelton got the start at defensive tackle, but it's like, man, he's got to hold off PJ Mustipher, who is a tank, and Robert Windsor down there. You got all your different.
But on the ends, you
ends.
got Shaka Tony.
Yeah.
You got Etor.
Jason
and then,
Owe.
And then you got Jason Owe waiting in the wings. And it's and that's another thing. Like with the running backs. With depth. Like there were times last year, the Ohio State game, the Michigan State game,
Yeah.
where I think the defense ran out of steam.
Yeah.
And if you have this depth where you can just, all right, Etor, you're tired, Jason, come in.
Yep,
and
no
Jason
problem.
Owe is a beast.
Yeah.
As we are finding out more and more each day. And so like I said, it's going to come in handy down the stretch. There's going to be a game where we're like, oh my God,
Penn
it's playing
State
dividends.
Penn State dominated Idaho, no question, 79-7. Idaho is not a good team.
No.
They were FCS, and it was a total mismatch. I think you're going to getting more into this Buffalo game. You're going to get a step up in competition. Buffalo comes out of the MAC. They're returning MAC champs. But here's the thing with Buffalo, and I thought it was super interesting that Coach was talking about in his weekly press conference was Buffalo, they lost their quarterback to the NFL. He wasn't drafted, but he was with the Bills there for a bit.
One of the best quarterbacks in Buffalo history.
And then you lose 5 returning like big time players to the transfer portal, right? So that's a new wrinkle this year, is that like these smaller colleges, like Penn State's got a wide receiver from Monmouth. These smaller colleges, these stars, and then all of a sudden those stars, the small colleges, are able to grad transfer, and it's like a meat market like within the transfers. And coach says, they're not supposed to, but coaches are recruiting other colleges, and he's not. It's not like he's. Even if he likes it or not, I don't think that really matters. But like that's the name of the game, as coach says it says over and over. It's like, no matter what, like that's this is the game now. They're going to adjust. So Buffalo.
You said meat market and some brisket.
Oh, that's my dog.
He wants brisket too.
That's Winston.
He wants brisket too.
Yeah,
I'm
he
hungry.
does. Check out Walks with Winston on our website. It's great.
Good times.
All right, so
He didn't bark.
Jack, how do you think this one's going to go?
Like I said, I think 48-14 Penn State. I think Buffalo is a step up in competition, but Buffalo lost a lot of guys last year, and I think under the lights will give Penn State a little more juice and whatnot, and I don't see it being close.
I want to say Buffalo's coach said that this was like the biggest game in Buffalo history, but of course he's going to say that.
Of course,
going to Penn State.
But then you come out in front of over 100,000 under the lights at Beaver Stadium, and. Trust me, the nerve set in. It set in for Ohio State last year, and they were the number 4 team in the country. So let's see what happens when Buffalo comes.
I've been going low scores every game, just hoping that someday I'm right.
That's your brand. You got to stick to your brand.
I think I said like 28-14. I can't remember what my original prediction was, but honestly, I do think it'll be a significant blowout win for Penn State. But that's my pick, 28-14. I'm sticking to it. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, I got nothing else.
This was Nittany Nation Now, kind of giving you an update on some of the things we hit on. Nittany Nation game day is Saturdays, 11:30 a.m. On WTAJ, and it's also sent out to a bunch of other television markets around the state at different times. So just be on the lookout for Nittany Nation Game Day. We have a lot of fun with that show.
And then Nittany Nation Overtime Sunday nights at 11:30 with the
Nitwits.
Neil Riddell, Mark Brennan, and mystery guests that we don't know about until Saturday night.
I think you sent out the list, but I don't know. I'm just like being surprised.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, that's going to do it for us. This is Jack Washer. I'm Peter Sharpster, and this was Nittany Nation Now.